Have you ever taught someone a new language only to have it backfire horribly? My roommate Thomas begged me to teach him Italian for weeks. This girl, Sophia, at the coffee shop downtown is Italian, and I'm absolutely head over heels, he said, offering to pay my entire rent for 2 months. She's gorgeous, smart, and every time I try talking to her, she responds in Italian. I need to learn. I studied abroad in Florence for a year, so I figured why not help the guy out. We started with the absolute basics. Ciao, come stai? Bene, grazie. He was surprisingly eager, practicing pronunciation every single night after work. Within days, he had che bella giornata down perfectly. By the end of week 1, Thomas was already trying simple conversations. He'd come home from Sophia's coffee shop absolutely beaming. Dude, she's totally warming up to me. Today she said something that sounded like molto bello when I ordered my usual latte. Week 2, he got more ambitious. I taught him phrases about the weather, compliments, basic conversation starters. Sei molto gentile. Parli inglese? Come ti chiami? He'd practice in the mirror for hours, perfecting his accent. His dedication was honestly impressive. She keeps responding in rapid Italian, he'd tell me, eyes lighting up. I can't understand everything, but she seems excited when I talk to her. Sometimes she giggles and calls her coworker over. They must think my Italian is cute or something. Week 3, things got serious. Thomas wanted to learn romantic phrases. Ti amo. Sei bellissima. Vorrei conoscerti meglio. I warned him to take it slow, but he was determined. I think she might actually be interested. Yesterday she spent like 10 minutes talking to me in Italian while making my coffee. He practiced asking her out properly. Vuoi uscire con me stasera? Over and over until it was perfect. His pronunciation was genuinely good by then, better than most tourists I'd met in Italy. Thursday night, he was a nervous wreck. Tomorrow's the day, he said, pacing around our apartment. I'm going to ask Sophia out in perfect Italian. 3 weeks of studying, and I finally feel confident enough. Friday morning, Thomas put on his best shirt, practiced his lines one final time, and headed to the coffee shop. I actually felt proud. He'd worked so hard. 2 hours later, he storms back into our apartment, face bright red, completely mortified. Dude, he said, collapsing onto the couch. Sophia isn't Italian. I stared at him. What do you mean she's not Italian? She's from freaking Ohio, Thomas groaned. Born and raised in Cleveland. Doesn't speak a single word of Italian. Never even been to Europe. My jaw dropped. Then what was she saying to you all those weeks? Complete gibberish. Thomas buried his face in his hands. She told me she was bored at work and thought it would be hilarious to see how far she could take it. She'd just string together random sounds and watch me try to respond. I couldn't believe it. So when you finally asked her out in Italian, she burst out laughing, called over her coworker and said, "This is the guy I was telling you about. He actually learned Italian because he thought I was Italian." Thomas shook his head. Then she looked me dead in the eye and said, "That's honestly so pathetic, it's almost sweet. But here's the absolute worst part. Sophia told me she'd been planning this from day 1. She noticed Thomas staring at her for weeks and decided to mess with him because she was bored during her shifts. She'd practiced fake Italian-sounding gibberish at home just to see how long she could keep it going. I honestly didn't think he'd actually learn the language," she told her coworker while Thomas stood there mortified. "I was just having fun. But 3 weeks? That's dedication to a delusion." Thomas couldn't even respond. He just walked out of the coffee shop and hasn't been back since. Now he avoids that entire block of downtown because he's so embarrassed. The worst part? All his friends found out when Sophia's coworker posted about it on social media. Now everyone calls him Italian Thomas and asks him to say romantic things in Italian as a joke. Thomas actually kept studying Italian out of pure spite. "If I'm going to be humiliated for learning a language," he said, "at least I'm going to master it." 6 months later, he applied for a job teaching English in Rome and got it. Turns out, even learning a language under completely humiliating circumstances still counts as being bilingual on your resume. Sophia's still making coffee in Cleveland, probably planning her next social experiment on some unsuspecting customer. Thomas is living his best life in Italy, but he still turns red whenever anyone mentions what happened.